Do visit it. Now let us come to a topic proper. The instrument used to detect radiation are referred to as the radiation detection devices. Now instruments used to measure radiation are called as the instruments used to measure radiation dose. Okay, radiation dose is called as radiation dosimeters. So there are two devices. One is detection and second is measurement. Both are important to know how much radiation is there, because radiation is potentially harmful. It should be used meticulously and unnecessary. There should not be exposure to radiation. Radiation safety measures, inverse square law, we have extensively covered somewhere else. Please visit it and know how a harmful like X-ray radiation we have converted to a very useful modality by knowing its limitation and by knowing its physics properly. Now what is a dosimetry? Dosimetry is a measurement. Now a device monitor and record ionizing radiation and its doses is called as dosimeter. Now we must distinguish background radiation from the radiation we are received. Otherwise what will happen is there will be a false results. Though we are measuring the radiation received by us, what we'll measure is the background radiation. So it will not be a true assessment of the radiation producing unit. So this must distinguish a background radiation and the radiation receiving from the radiation producing unit. For that what we are using is, first is personal dosimetry. Now personal dosimetry it refers to monitoring of the individual who are exposed to radiation during the course of their work. We should know how much radiation an individual received, because one thing is harmful, but more than that it can be used in a beneficial way provided we keep the dose in restriction. We measure it, we know it, and we keep it in maximum permissible limit, that is MPD, maximum permissible dose is there. We have to operate below that. Now personal dosimetry policies needs to be placed for a occupational exposed industry. Wherever there is radiation, wherever there is exposure, wherever there is exposure to the working population, we must monitor them. We must keep them in reasonably low limits so that they will be in maximum permissible dose limit. Now the data from the dosimeters are collected and it is a cumulative, so it has to be a reliable, and it will be reliable only when it will be properly worn, and we will measure the radiation which we have got from the radiation sources. We should return it in time to the lab. We should analyze how much radiation is there, and we should make a cumulative assessment of the dose we have received, because radiation effects are cumulative. We should know not only what radiation we have received today, but also till now there has to be a record for it. Now radiation measurement is a time integrated dose, that is the dose summed over a period of time. Usually it is around 3 months. So every 3 months we have to return the measuring device to the laboratory and get a fresh one. We know why it is. I'll be discussing it shortly. The dose is subsequently stated as an estimate of the effective dose equivalent to the whole body in MSV for the reporting period, or for the period the person was exposed in a radiation. Now dosimeter used for this purpose are the monitors, and they can measure, their measuring limit is up to 0.1 to 0.2 MSV. Now what is the proper care we have to take? Unless we take proper care, the radiation we are receiving will not be measured properly. Unless we measure it properly, it will not be made a cumulative dose, it will not be tabulated, and you will not know it how much radiation you have received till today. If you are a continuous radiation worker, you should know about it. Now what is the care? The device we are using to measure the radiation should not be irradiated in other time than when you are exposed to the radiation source. In other words, wear it only when you are on duty, and ensure proper environmental conditions. Not only wearing is proper, it should be worn properly, it should be kept properly, it should be preserved properly, it should be sent back to the laboratory in time, and a cumulative dose has to be adjusted. Then only it will be effective radiation dose management. The monitoring is accompanied through the use of personal dosimeters, such as, now there are different type of dosimeter which we are using. One is called as pocket dosimeter, second was film badge, and third is thermoluminescent dosimeter. These are the three types available. We'll know them each other and we'll know which is the best one, and we'll of course follow it on our future practice. Now what are the film badges? The film badge use a small X-ray film sandwiched between several filters to help the radiation detection. When we were earlier radiation students in between 80s, 81 to 85, we were using these film badges. Now the photographic effect refers to the ability of radiation to blacken the photographic film. Now these photographic films were sandwiched in between multiple filters, as you are seeing here. There are different metallic filters which were used to differentiate between a type of radiation.